Good morning, everyone. Well, afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon on October 27th, the Sunday before Halloween. And I've just been watching the chickens carve out a pumpkin face, a jack-o'-lantern. It's so cool. They're pecking. They peeled off the skin around where they want the eyes and the mouth, and the chickens are pecking all the pumpkin out. It's kind of cool. I'll post a little video of it later. But yeah, it's kind of been a laid back week. Nothing really spectacular going on. It's been hot weather, cold weather. It's been all over the place here in Tennessee. Right now, the sun, if you're standing in the sun, it's 75. If you're standing in the shade, it's about 65, The sun gets very hot here, but it's like a cloudy day. It rained a little bit last night, and it's just been a real good week. We got some things done on the property, just cleaning up. We just took garbage bags. We didn't videotape it. We just went and cleaned up trash off the ground, and sort of the more we're there, the more we can get familiar with it and just sort of make it our own. Sometimes it feels like all this is just gonna end, like it's a vacation or something. Haven't really. I was talking to Walt about how it's amazing. We've been here 3 months already, and it feels like we've been here forever. And it feels like it's time to go home. Like we've because anytime we stayed away, it was because of vacation, and then we went home, and you went back to that old routine. But this time, we're not going home, and we're not going back to our old routine. We're going back to a whole new life, and it's kind of cool. But it's like we're in that waiting room. Waiting room. And while we're in the waiting room, there's this lady, Jess, on Roots and Refuge on YouTube, and she talks about how turning your waiting room into a learning room, and that's what we've been learning. The property, I planted some garlic for the first time in my life. I made planter beds for the first time in my life, so did Walt. There's the ums again. I'm sorry, guys. It's going to take a while to break that. That's an old habit. So we've just been familiarizing ourselves. We cleaned off this old stone wall that's been there probably for the past 100 years, maybe. And it looks like it's really cool. And then just looking at the trees and the colors of the leaves and how that's changing, and the miracle of autumn. This is the first time Walt's ever lived up here during autumn. And so it's the first time he's ever really experienced the leaves changing like they are. So I'm excited watching him. And I tell you, those who know me, I love color. I'm an artist. And it's so amazing how beautiful these trees are. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I appreciate the opportunity to do this. The other thing that's going on is I'm starting to realize how old I am. Somewhere in my head, I always felt like I was still 16 on the inside, and that my body was probably around 30, healthy and strong. And I got to tell you, it's not strong anymore, and it's not as healthy anymore. I have pain in my hip every day, and it's getting worse, and I think I have arthritis. I know I have it in my shoulder. I'm trying the ums. I have it in my shoulder that's already been diagnosed. I also have carpal tunnel in both hands, in which I've been crocheting a lot because that's the only crafting I can do right now in the RV. Although I'm going to break out some clay, I think, pretty soon, and start making some clay ornaments, because I've just been having an urge to create. I've never sat still this long and not been painting or creating or doing something, sewing. I'm always doing something. And now I haven't really been to doing anything except for the only thing I can do, which is crocheting. So I've made a couple blankets and uh, scarves, and just sort of like doing little things and big things, but not enough to satisfy the urge to create, if that makes sense. So today, as we have every week, we're reading out of Everyday Spirit by Mary Davis, and we're going to read today's meditation, and then I'm going to just share whatever comes to mind. And I hope we have a wonderful Sunday. I hope your day is as peaceful and chill as mine is right now, because I tell you, this is a really good feeling. And last week I wasn't having this feeling, but this week I am. This week, sort of like, you go through those ups and downs, right? And right now I'm in that lull, just chilling, just like, woo, and I enjoy it while it lasts, because I know this too shall pass, that nothing lasts forever, especially feelings and situations and people. Everything changes. The only thing constant in life is change. So today is October 7th, and October 27th, sorry. The reading says, speak love. So love comes with a feeling that always heals, always empowers, always lifts, always endures, and can always build a bridge. I like that. A friend of mine who had been estranged from her sister and brother-in-law was nervous about attending a wedding where she would be seeing them for the first time in years. Hurtful things had been said, but the pain has mostly faded with time. She knew it was an opportunity to build a bridge. I've done that. Afterwards, she told me that although they seemed to have little in common with each other, she was overcome with love at the sight of them. She realized that she didn't have to talk about anything in particular. She only needed to speak in a loving way, and the feeling of love was silently spoken. They laughed, danced, and built a bridge. Last Friday, after roller coaster months of sobriety highs and drunken lows, Adam called me. Smashed. I don't know who Adam is, but okay. He was light-hearted, funny, and childlike. I somehow had the grace to resist the urge to launch into a scolding lecture. Something told me just be love. So I laughed with him. I let him tell some rambling stories. Sorry, I was looking to see if Adam was mentioned in here, so I knew who he was. So I laughed with him. I let him tell some rambling stories. I encouraged him, and I let him know, and I'm sure he doesn't even remember making the call. But I know he received the feeling of love, and that was all needed to be silently spoken. Love has many languages. They all hold the same power, because love speaks volumes all by itself. When words seem inadequate, when you're done your best explaining and you're just not getting through, remember that love comes with a feeling that can always heal, always empowers, always lifts, always endures, and can always build a bridge in the world. Sometimes people just need to be loved, even when they've made mistakes. I think especially when they made mistakes. Even when they have been mean. Even when they get a tattoo that you don't love. Sometimes we just need to speak love in the heart. Today I release my instinct to judge, and in its place I offer a gift wrapped with the language of love. Wow. I can relate a lot to that, because I've had a lot of struggles in my life with people who have hurt me and harmed me, that were important to me and that I loved, but at the same time I lost trust in, and I feared the damage they could do to my heart, so I pushed them away. And then as time passed, and I tell you, it took a lot of time, it took about 15 years, I made a decision just to let it go. I had been working on letting it go. I thought I had let it go. I had stopped allowing it to control me, but I hadn't really let it go. And I went and visited that person, and I just sat down and talked to them just like I was visiting a long-lost relative. And that's what it felt like. Like, we were almost strangers by then, although we knew each other intimately, and we were very important to each other, and we loved each other very much. But at the same time, there was so much distance between us that the ability to hurt me had passed. And I could just accept that person as just a person, not give what they do so much importance and power over me, and also just love them where they are. It doesn't mean I allow them in my life in full regard to do whatever they want. I do have boundaries, and I do keep a distance still, because I know that it's not healthy still. But I'm not pushing them away. I'm not resenting them. I'm not exercising them from my life. I'm not, I haven't divorced them anymore. I haven't, and I don't mean divorce in this meaning of man and woman. I mean in divorce in the meaning of ending a relationship. And today I can call them and talk to them, and I can stop by and visit them and it's pleasant. It's pleasant. It just is. And I'm allowing it to be what it is now and let go of what it was in the past. And that was the big, big thing. And I tell you what she had talked about with the person Adam, who I have no clue who Adam is, but I've experienced that as well. And I had to make a decision that it's not mine to punish people for not living and doing the things I want them to do, not being who I think they should be, and not living their lives the way I think they should. You know, I quit shooting on people. And I just love them where they are. And again, I do it with boundaries. I don't let them run like a tornado through my life, you know, and I try not to let them hurt me, you know, although when you love somebody and you're watching them hurt themselves, it hurts you anyway. But what I do is I text and sometimes call. And whether they answer, they don't, I just say I love you and I'm thinking about you today. And I just chat. I just talk, you know, and just tell them what's going on in my life. And I remember when someone did that for me, and they just allowed me to be okay. They didn't try to control me. They didn't try to condemn me, even though I was messing up terribly. They just said, well, I hope it works for you, you know, and I'm glad you're okay, and, you know, keep in touch, you know. And they would call me and talk to me. And that way, when I was ready to stop beating my head against the wall, when I was ready to get help, when I was ready to do something different, I could call them, and I knew they weren't going to judge me, and they just loved me and were going to lift me up. And that's what I practice today. I don't do it perfectly, believe me, I don't do it perfectly. And the more important somebody is to me, the more harsher I am sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time. I'm getting better at it, but boy, I used to, you know, I grew up with a father that was my way or the highway, you know, and very authoritarian. And he grew up with a father that was very authoritarian, and, you know, family that's authoritarian. And, you know, you do what you're supposed to do, and, or we'll beat it into you, you know. And I don't mean that they beat me, but, you know, y'all get the gist. I'm 65. Y'all know how it was back then. And it doesn't work. It didn't work with me. No matter how hard my father tried to control me, I was uncontrollable. And no matter how hard I try to control other people, number one, it's not my journey. It's not my place to control other people. Everyone has their own journey that's already mapped out for them to learn the lessons they need to learn, to become closer to the power that brought them here, you know? And I believe that every struggle we have brings us closer to God. And through the pain and the struggle comes humility. And through humility becomes seeking that power greater in ourselves. Seeking someone that can help, something that can help, something that can lift us up whenever we have proven to ourselves, finally, that we cannot do it by ourselves. I thought I had to be strong. And I thought strong meant that I had to have everything under control, and that I had to do it all myself, and that I had to be perfect. And what I learned is that being strong really comes from being vulnerable. My strength comes from my vulnerability. My strength comes from the fact that I have the courage to tell you who I really am, tell you how I really feel, tell you what I really have going on with me, and how my strength comes from asking for help. Whenever I reach out, I become stronger. Whether that's reaching out to God, reaching out to another human being, reaching out to you guys, the strength in numbers is so real, so true. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my tribe. I wouldn't be here today if there weren't people, if I hadn't have hit my knees and said, in that fetal position, that I can't do this. And believe me, I tried to do it on my own. I can't. Someone told me the first 3 steps, and if you guys aren't in recovery, the first step is we admit we are powerless over our addiction, that our lives have become unmanageable. And the second step says that we come to believe in a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. And the third step says that we made a decision, turn our will and our lives to the care of God of our understanding. And someone told me, let me see how much time I got clean. I got 36 years clean, so it was probably about 39, 40 years ago. In treatment, they told me the first 3 steps are simply, I can't. Someone else can. I think I'll let them. And I could not keep anything simple back then. I complicated everything. But today, it's just that simple. I can't. We can. Please help. And that's how we do this. That's how I do this. This is how I get through every day. This is how I get through every problem. This is how I get through every joy and every success. I didn't do my successes alone any more than I did my trials alone. So I can't, we can. And I so appreciate you guys for supporting us and loving us and allowing me this time in your life, making room for me. There's the again. I was doing pretty good, I think. I tell you, it's just a great day. It's a great Sunday to be alive. Pain and all, doubts and all, fears and all, joys and all, chickens and all, pumpkins and all. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And namaste. Until next week.